Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to Inside Line Racing here for ILR8's 20th round. It is the Brazilian Grand Prix, and it is our first chance at seeing the ILR8 Championship decided. We've got Alfa Romeo, the world champions in the constructors side of things, but we have still got to decide the Alfa Romeo drivers who's going to win the drivers' championship. At the moment, Splinter is on top by just 3 points on 235, which means that if he outscores his teammate today, in other words, if he wins and his teammate gets no points, then he'll be champion. It's very unlikely, but it's going to be a wet to dry race here in Brazil today. Starts off full wet, then inter, then dry. So, yeah, if you're ever asking for something to go terribly wrong today for one of them two alphas, then it could well be today. The challenger, of course, is Dexter. He's 45 points behind. There's 52 points still to earn. So that means he has to clock up his first 2 wins of the season, or else he's in trouble. So, yeah, he's got to have the perfect set of races and somehow hope that the two Alfa Romeos don't finish. It's as good as impossible, but he needs some really fantastic racing today. But again, with the way the weather is, anything can really happen. So welcome along, everybody. I'm your commentator, Owen Wyatt. It is ILR8, and it is Championship Day, possibly. More than likely not. And God, we need it. We need it to not be for Abu Dhabi's sake. Welcome back, Martin. Nice to see you in the chat. We've got Profa as well. Why haven't you changed your YouTube name to Fenagamo either? Yeah, I'll make it a bit easier, because I don't know if I should keep calling you Propa or what. But anyway. Ugh, too much mess about with names. You can see that Daniil, by the way, is dead. We don't really know what's happened to him, because I was in the middle of setting up the stream. So, oops. I guess rip him, but hopefully he'll still be in the lobby for the race starting, because obviously qualifying's only a small part of this, as that was not Dexter, was it? It was Indecisive. Broken front wing, but he was on his way to the pit lane anyway. So, bit of an odd incident. Very odd incident, actually. I don't really know what happened there. He must have just spun or something up the hill. I don't think he got hit by anyone. I was putting the stream link up, so actually I'm not 100% sure, but still, I'll check for any penalties just in case I missed anything there. Nah, just Daniil dying. Bit of a gruesome death by the looks of it. It was in sector 2 as far as I can tell, so it could potentially be in the dive corner. Anyway, you may notice that we've got big man Jack Gooding. He's in the pits at the moment, but he will be racing tonight, so can't wait to see that. Jacko there in the chat. Do you know what I was thinking of there? I'm seeing you've got your Jacko car stuff up. By the way, that's very exciting. News on that soon. But speaking of NASCAR, I've completely forgotten about the NASCAR points. Who from ILR8 is doing well in the Jacko car, slightly, not really, a NASCAR point system? Because we should probably have a little look at that for Abu Dhabi, just to see who wins this completely pointless championship, which no one really cares about except me and Jacko. Or no one. I don't think anyone remembers it. But point is, I know you're enjoying your time in New York, isn't it? But, you know, still, get yourself some work done. Alright, Jamie and Chris have advanced. In other words, the two Alfa Romeos are dominating it, and so, yeah, that's fun. I guess we can keep up to date with that, but, not really that important, is it? But it's good for filler. Speaking of filler, Jacko has still got some filler done, even though he's away enjoying New York. I think he's got some ones to watches. We've got Dexter as one of the ones to watch. We'll see how he can do today. Like I say, he has to win. I believe it would be his first victory of the season. So he needs it badly, or else he'll be out of the championship, regardless of what happens elsewhere. It's pretty unlikely as it is, but he has to absolutely win tonight. There's no way he has to. There's just nothing else you can do except win. And then the other one would have been Beesman, but he isn't here. And so the other ones to watch are just the two alphas. Will we see Splinter seal his championship today? Arno goes up into P1. No, he had a decent enough debut last time out. He got not the best conditions. As usual, ILR8 I think has the most wet races of the league this season. I think I saw someone in the chat saying that earlier. But we had another one last week, and we had the other rookie as well. I'm forgetting his name now. Hold on, I will get his name. Give us a second a minute. Give us a second a minute. Yeah, that's good grammar. Let me see. Who was the other rookie? Because I know there was 2 rookies, and one was Arnaud, and he had a few incidents during the race. The other, Hoffner. That's who it was, Colin Hoffner. He was in the racing point, I think, and he binned it off the line. Literally, about 100 metres after the race start, he was in the wall, and he'd qualified on pole position as well. So hopefully Arnaud and Colin Hoffner, if he ever gets into the lobby, I don't know if he's coming or not tonight, but hopefully it goes well there. And we will see many disasters, but like I say, it's a full wet start, so you just never know. Strobland goes fastest. Of course, there's no real point in qualifying on anything that isn't. I cannot go up. There is no point in qualifying on anything that isn't the softs, because it's a full wet start. Well, now, that could mean a number of things. It could mean it's heavy rain, but not quite heavy enough for the wets. That's more likely, because it'll go straight to intermediates about halfway through the race, and then for the last third, it'll be dry. The thing that'll be interesting to see is what tire will be best at the end, because we saw last week, you saw Arnaud try the full wets when it was an intermediate start, and it didn't work out. He fell through the field. He led in the early stage, but fell through eventually. So it'll most likely be pretty simple for wet. So it'll probably be inter to inter to something, or maybe one whole inter stint if you can make it last till dry. And then will it be the softs or will it be the mediums to the end? I don't think the hards will play much of a factor, but the tyre choice in the pit lane could be quite important. We could also get safety cars tonight. I know we always like to joke about how you never get safety cars, but they do come out more often now, I find. So safety cars could be an option tonight as well. But yeah, looks like Splinter's a little bit down on his teammates so far, but he should get a nice run up here. I think he did his first lap on the mediums, so he should be alright up towards the line. DRS enabled, he'll stick to the tight inside line. Be careful not to go outside the track limits and set the exact same time. Wow, 2 1/1000 of a second separate the top 3 at the moment. That's incredible. That, I know it's one of the shortest laps of the year, but that is as close as it gets. That's how tight this championship fight is. 3 points between them over 19 rounds, and nothing between them in round 20's qualifying session. There's no way this title's being sealed tonight unless something seriously goes wrong, but that's brilliant. And of course, since Strobland set the time first, he gets to keep his P1 position. That's how that works. And yeah, that's incredible. Under a tenth there, separating the top 5, and 2 thousandths separating the top 3. I've never seen it closer. Certainly not in this league anyway. I've seen it this close in other leagues, but certainly not in ILR. That's incredible, that. That's grass. That's not the line there, Monkey Meg. He's letting Splinter through, but he's on an in-lap anyway, and that's just going to ruin your tyres when you start a lap. You've got to be careful that you're not going to get in anyone's way when you come back on. But he's alright, but that probably won't lead to much of a grippy start to his lap. Does he get out of that last corner? He does. I was worried he was going to spin there, because when you've been through the grass like that, it can cause a lot of damage there. Anyway, just to confirm, by the way, it is only 3 people in this challenge, because Baz is 67 points off, so he's done. 52 points available in the last 3 races. I like to say, with Dexter being 45 off, if he finishes second and Splinter's first, it's over. Simple as that. And pretty much the same for Strobland wins. It's over that way, I think, as well. Because he needs to be within 25, you know? He needs to be within 25. So actually, no, sorry, do you know what? He has to win and make sure that Splinter and Strobland are under the points. Sorry, I got that wrong. They both need to not score the Alphas and Dexter to win. I'm pretty sure he hasn't won once all season, Dexter. It's as good as impossible. But he'll give it a go. We know he will. But let's watch Strobland. All he needs is 1,000th of a second and he will be in P1 by a gap. As Arnaud actually goes faster and ruins that entire thing. So he's up by 2.5 tenths there. 1/4 of a second clear. Decent, that. We'll see if our championship contender can get in there and improve. Needs a lot more than a thousandth of a second now. And like I say, it should be full, dry, soft compound tyres for qualifying. There should be no variation in the tyres, because it is going to be a wet start unless somebody hasn't checked the weather forecast. But this would be an interesting one. It could well be a slow burner, a bit like Strawbon's lap. You may want to go for another one here, because that's not quick enough at the moment to go quickest. Unless he gets a toe, he's not pushing, is he? And he's short shifting, he'll be into the pit lane here. Spencer has actually stayed in, he's not come out yet. TC is up by a tenth in the first sector, not too bad there. But like I said, this race could well be a slow burner. Hopefully we don't lose too many in the early stage with the rain, and we have plenty high enough numbers for the finale, because when it goes to dry, that's when it's going to get really interesting, and I can't wait to see how that all pans out. We've got yellow flags in all three sectors. I'm not seeing anyone retiring though, so I'm going to just assume it's people slowing down or leaving the pit lane, or letting other people through, etc. Because that yellow sector 1 to 2, that's where the pit lane exit would be. It would count as both sectors. And I can't see any yellow flags there being for something that isn't an accident. Now, is TC going to get a toe of Camus Bab up ahead there? He stole McLaren today. He should get a toe. Might not be a massive toe, but any toe will help on this fully flat out final sector as he goes P2. Not bad for the Toro Rosso driver. Indecisive, pretty slidey through the fourth corner. Murdoch onto the grass on the entry, just one. Struggling then to get the lap started. Jess on a lap as well. She was not looking forward to wet conditions, and you know what? She's broke that front wing, I think. So maybe there was a genuine yellow flag out there for her, but she's going to have to get in and out of the pits pretty quickly if she wants to get a good lap in. Looks like Tudai is about to get one started. Hello to the 12 of you, nice to see y'all. Welcome. It could be championship decider day. It'll be a wet start and it'll go inter to dry afterwards, so it's certainly one worth sticking around for. And then after this we'll have ILR1 with me and Louis in the commentary box, by the way. I think with me, Louis and Ollie again, because that worked out quite well last week, and Austin again can't make it. I hired him. I told Jack, can we get Austin in here? It'd be quite nice to have him for some ILR commentaries, because ILR1 might be a bit boring towards the end of the season. Honestly, it will be. I mean, what can we do when the championship's over? Might as well have a bit of fun with it, right? But nah, he just hasn't made a single one yet. Oh well, there's always happy, but anyway, put his ILR on. It'd be pretty fun. There'll be a few of us in the commentary box, hopefully, and it should be quite nice. And that's about as much padding as I want to do, because I need to see some Alfa Romeos leaving the pit lane, please, and coming out on the track. I want to see how these guys get on. I want to see also, actually, a lap with Arno would be quite fun to watch. Jay Cardy. Sup. And Jess is retired, so she's going to start last. Hasn't got a single lap under her belt. I really hope she hasn't done it in the pit wall. I think she might have stuck it in the pit wall. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it wouldn't make any sense to retire. Splinter? Oh, now he has hit the wall, hasn't he? What? He has hit the wall. He's been disqualified from qualifying. So he's going to start down in P17 now. And with the way these conditions are looking for today's race, this could be a nightmare scenario. Strawblon will be seeing that, and he'll be absolutely delighted. And so it looks to me like Splinter's on the classic, hit the wall in the pit lane in Brazil, reset back on the track, and get instantly disqualified. And look at this, we've got a lot of people coming out into the pit lane onto the track now. You can see that whole front wing of the Alfa Romeo's gone. He has stacked it into the wall. But here comes Jack, because he's looking for pole position right now. It is Haas. He's on for at the moment, not taking the inside line, but he still goes fastest. Jack on pole at the moment, but we still got to see Arno down in the first sector. He's got TC ahead on the right lap as well. He might struggle to get through there. Where's Strong Blonde? He might be one of the last across the line, but his teammate is starting last. The championship leader only by 3 points. This is going to see this whole title fight swing back around. If Dexter can get any good laps in and Straw Blonde doesn't have a good day, maybe, just maybe, Dexter can stick him in this fight. But TC, he's not stayed too far ahead there, or too close to Arno, I should say. That means Arno will actually get a nice toe. This should put him back onto P1. Here he comes. It is P1. That toe certainly helped him out there. TC has got his lap underway, but ahead of him, Straw Blonde has seen a massive opportunity open up as his teammates stacked it into the wall in the pit lane. All he has to do is make sure he doesn't have a terrible lap, and he will start up in the top half of the table with Splinter right the way down in last place. Checkered flag is out, so anyone who crosses the line now will have their laps completed and not be allowed to start another one. Arnold's already completed, so he's going to retire and just hope to God that nothing goes wrong around him and that he can keep that pole position. Is Jack doing another lap? No, he is not. It feels like he did abandon, didn't he? As Mr. John is off in Narnia. He's got to stay in Narnia if he wants to not block anybody. But here comes Straw Blonde through the middle sector. He needs to be up by some way here, but he's not at the moment. He's having a pretty poor lap. Dexter, Camo, Babu, Baza, Murdoch, and Tudai have all finished laps. Monkey Meg is on one, but is down, and Mr. John, we saw him in Narnia, so the only people who can beat him are Frenagamo and TC. Will TC beat him first of all? He was already ahead actually, sorry, wasn't he? But he doesn't go up to second place or anything, and Frenagamo had a bad lap as well. So, it's Arno on pole from Jack, TC, Straw Blonde, Frenagamo, Dexter, Camababu, Baza, Indecisive, Murdoch, Monkey Meg, Tudai, Mr. John, Crazy Van Rob, Daniil, Jess, and the championship leader, Splinter, is starting last after he stuck it into the wall at the end of the pit lane as he came out of the pits to start his final attempt. That has put a real spanner in the works there, and he's going to have to work hard to hold on to that championship lead today. Luckily for him, or maybe unluckily, we'll wait and see how it all pans out. It's a wet to dry race. At Brazil, that means we're going to get a lot of unpredictability, and it means that even though he's starting last, it could be a good opportunity to get himself under the points again. So we'll see how this works out, but certainly it is advantage Straw Blonde in the championship fight as it stands. And he will start in P4 for the race. He's just going to make sure he stays out of trouble and stays ahead of his teammate. If he outscores him by 4 points, he goes straight ahead. Ahead of Abu Dhabi, the season finale. Thank goodness for that, by the way. It's Abu Dhabi, the season finale, where we could actually have a championship fight, because of the way it's looking. We're not going to get the title confirmed today for anybody. And that means there's actually, you know, something worth watching now. But yeah, everyone qualifying on the softs. I don't know if it would be the same way if it was a dry race, but certainly wet start. There's no point qualifying on the medium. So there's that grid once again. Arno, Jack, TC, Straw Blonde, Frenagamo, Dexter, Camu Babu, Baza, Indecisive, and Murdoch, your top 10 outside. Monkey Meg, Tudai, Mr. John, Crazy Fan Rob, Daniil, Jess, and Splinter. 3 cars on there with no times listed. Of course, Splinter did have some times, but he got disqualified, so he lost them all. Jess struggled a lot and then retired, possibly in the pit lane as well. I'm not 100% sure what happened there, but she went anyway. And then Daniil stuck it into the wall when he was out on track before he started his lap, I believe. And so we are left with well, rain. Now, will this be a full wet start or an intermediate start? That's the first thing we've got to answer. And then after that, we've got to decide how long the rain's going to last. It's going to be, I think, at this intensity for the first 12 laps, we'll say. Because I think it's 36 laps. So we'll go first 12 laps, it'll be like this. Then the next 12, it'll be lighter. And then last 12, dry. That's an approximation, of course. It could be a lot different to that, but just like say, an approximation. I don't think anyone's going to try anything creative with the tyres as well, because like I say, last week we saw Arno try a different compound when it was a wet start. It didn't work out. But what colour are they? They look like the full wets or intermediates. Or intermediates, yeah. Once you get closer to the like intermediates, I always kind of hope there will be full wets, but yeah, we'll see. Arno, maybe Arno's being different to the pack again, but yeah, it's all intermediate this time. He's learned from his mistakes last time, right? When he was in the hat, I think, following enough, that Jack has taken up. But certainly a very interesting, fascinating race we've got ahead of us here. And you can see we've got Kornhoff has arrived, and we've got Shabs who have arrived as well. Jack saying he's going to DNF. He can't do himself. Come on. You'll be fine. Do you know what? I'm so confident in you, Jack, that you're going to win this one. I don't think I've seen you win a race yet, Jack, and we're sort of running out of time to see that. So, do you know what? Straw Blonde's a bit further behind you. Splinter's in Narnia. Arno, didn't have the best debut last time out. Maybe he'll struggle again in the wet conditions. Jack, you're going to win the race today. I've got faith in you. I've got faith in you. I've got to see it happen. I haven't ever commentated on your win. You stole a win off me in Australia by 7/10 in ILR3. It was super tight. One more lap and I would have had you. And so I'm not particularly happy with that one. If no one remembers that was the start of season 3, I think, and he did. None of us thought the conditions worked out the way they did. It was dry to wet. It was a fantastic race, by the way. Honestly, watch the F1 2017 ILR. I don't want to sound mean to say, but that was peak ILR. It was incredible. I loved it. And I think I did like super to super, and then it rained. And obviously had the same type of idea. Jack here started on the mediums. Or, yeah, no, softs. They were yellow, the yellow tires, the softs at the start. And he went all the way till rain, and he took the win off me and Warren, who were fighting away for it, and he just rocks up and takes it. And I was 7/10 behind. He had a penalty, but I was so close to getting him. Couldn't manage it. Will we see such heroics from other drivers today? Will we see a shock winner? Will Jack do it again? We've got the lights on here in Brazil when all 5 go out. The season penultimate race will be underway. And we are going into Lagos. Looks like a pretty decent start from Jack. He's going to have a little look on the inside towards turn 1. How risky is he going to be? He's not going to be too risky. He broke a little earlier. TC will have a go around the outside. We'll try and get cleared. To help Arno, of course. He's going to have a clear run. Jack has to avoid. Straw Blonde has lost a position on the start. Looking back to see that Splinter is alive and well as well. He's already made a couple of spots too. Frenagamo out to P3. Jack falling for the... Oh, wow! Huge incident for Dexter. His championship is over. Frenagamo up into 3rd place. And look at that. We've got Straw Blonde has been sent off the track as well with Indecisive. All the championship contenders having a nightmare start at the moment. Splinter getting himself up into P12. In the meantime, he looks to be alive and well, but Dexter is done. He's out of the championship. It's over. And he did it in a pretty massive accident. It has to be said, he was stuck into the wall. Luckily no one else went into him. Straw Blonde was sent off the track, but I don't think he's got any damage to his Alfa Romeo. We'll keep tabs on that. But I think he's okay, yeah, he's alright, no damage caused. Looking for yellow flags, I can see nothing untoward on the screen at the moment. But yeah, the 2 Mercedes at the back of the field then, it looks like Indecisive struggling quite a lot. He was into the side of Straw Blonde and spinning off at turn 4, but he's alright. Looks though like Splinter has he actually lost a couple of positions. He's broke the front wing. He has broken his front wing, so he could well have been a yellow flag, and there is Indecisive off again. Really struggling along right now. And Straw Blonde looks ahead to see Baza and Jack fighting away, but will Splinter pit? He will pit. Now, there's a potential that this is a 2-stop in the wet anyway, that everyone has to make another pit stop into interest and then go to dries. So I guess Splinter's going to have to just take this until dries now and just hope it goes well. As Baza gets ahead, 2 guys retired from the session. That could well be another huge accident. Trying to see where. Yeah, he has had another big accident down in that bar. It sticks out. But Straw Blonde's gone as well. All 3 of the championship contenders have had accidents on lap 1 and 2. But Straw Blonde, a massive opportunity is gone. Now, Splinter has got to perform heroics on another scale here to take the title today. He must win if he wants to take the title today. He's going to have to do it from the pit lane, being a good 30 seconds off the nearest car. Safety cars are a possibility around here, but Dexter out of the championship. Straw Blonde, massive opportunity, not taken. Spencer will leave today as your championship leader, believe it or not. Unbelievable scenes. I don't know if there was any form of accidents going on where there was contact, because obviously we saw Jack moving a bike, we saw Baza too. Did Straw Blonde just stick his nose in and have an accident that way? I guess we'll find out later on. But wow, Splinter has got away with this big time, hasn't he? His 2 main rivals have wiped out. Well, we do say Brazil can be quite unpredictable, and we've certainly seen plenty of that unpredictability. Splinter has really then, if he wants to win the title today, he's got to win, because he's only 3 points ahead of Straw Blonde. And luckily for him, he's not going to score a single point, Strawblonde, because he's already stacked it into the wall. Dexter, like I say, out of the championship reckoning now. He was 45 points behind, started this race, and he cannot score 45 points in Abu Dhabi. As that looks like Shabs has gone off, joined in late, but had a spin at turn 4. And we'll lose out there a few positions. Con is absolutely flying along. He's already out into P9. I think he's already gone from 18th to 9th, so that's a pretty decent start. And yeah, Jack would just reiterate my point that Splinter wants the title today. He's got to win. He's flying if you compare him to Jess, but I want to compare him to Arno because he's 42 seconds off there. And that's not as favourable. But yeah, he needs a safety car because in the wet conditions we saw in the USLA that he was absolutely dominant when he got out front into clean air. So if he can just stay in the clean air, which he will for quite a long time, then he could have a really good day today, but I will see. Accident on lap 1 though did not help him out at all. But here's Shavs now, recovering from his accident earlier, or just, well, spin, trying to get by Daniil, who's going much slower than him on the straight. And that's a corner cut. Will he get away with that move on a corner cut, I wonder? He will not. He'll have to get that one back through. I don't know why he had to cut the corner. It was a bit unnecessary, that risk. But he will get that on the switchback now. There he goes. Up into P12 at last. It looks like Daniil's really not enjoying the conditions. And I think Shavs has gone off again. Was there contact there? There wasn't quite, but in the middle. Indecisive there. Just nicks himself through. Nice driving. But here comes Shavs on the inside again. We're going to get more contact into here. Indecisive off the track to avoid the collision. And stays ahead. I'm sure there'll be no issues with that. He was going to get hit anyway. And Shabs, that's not the line for there. He's going to be more on the racing line into there now. But, yeah. And then he brakes really late. He's struggling a bit, but yeah. Spencer gets the leader now. He's still 42 seconds. So, yeah, like I say, in relation to Jess, he's absolutely flying along. He'll be past her in a lap or two, but Strawblonde, yeah, he's left the session. He doesn't really want to be there anymore, unfortunately. Bad day at the office. Really bad day at the office. Shocking day at the office. But as it stands, Spencer, I mean, he's scoring 0. He is scoring 0. So that would mean that he would still be 3 points behind. But every single point Spencer gets is a point he will not be able to recover in this race. Strawblonde. Of course, say that say Strawblonde would finish 8th and score 4 points, be 7 ahead. That doesn't mean that. Oh, what on earth happened there? Did someone go off, or was Baz just lagging or something? But say it's a 7-point gap going to Abu Dhabi. That doesn't mean that Strawblonde can't just go and win Abu Dhabi and have the title by default if he sets fastest lap, for example. So it wouldn't be completely done. So yeah, it's not as grim as it looks. But if the further Splinter gets up, then the more grim it starts to look. He's gonna want there to be no safety car here, Splinter. But it's only lap 5. A long way to go. A lot of pit stops still to come when we go towards the dry conditions. And of course at the midpoint between that, arguably the most difficult part of this race is going to be the crossover, because the tyres are just not going to work for you for a good while. And it's going to mean that we've got more potential accidents going on. But it looks to me that Arnold at the moment is doing plenty fine enough to stay in the lead of this race and win it. But that could be just because of wet setup. I mean, Jack as well is flying along, but he's currently 5th place. He had 2 tentative starts. That's his issue, and look at that. Splinter's past Jess and then left her for dead. She is absolutely having a terrible time so far. She's struggling a lot. She'll be lapped in a minute. Luckily there's ghosting on, so there won't be any worries for Arnold as he does that. But certainly not a great day so far for Jess. She's really struggling. Hopefully she'll come back into it when it comes dry. And here comes Con Offner. Up into P8. Apparently if Kamababa finishes where he is, he'll be on to race for the title in the NASCAR points. Ooh. That's because of his win in Singapore. Gets him straight through to the chase or whatever it is. I don't know. I forget what it's called. I've really got to learn all this for next season's Jakku car. But I have it learned. Don't worry, at some point. There's Shabs and another Renault this time. It's Quizvan Rob. He was trying to get in the mix but didn't really do anything. I think he might have got ahead for a minute, but Shabs got back past. Looked quite close there. Indecisive on the back of Mr. John. He's running in the points at the minute. We've got some yellow flags. Might be behind, probably. Or nowhere, unless Splinter's gone and broke the front wing again. Just going to have a little look. He's fine. Right, Jack is on the back of Baza. Not really able to make a move work though at the moment, but he certainly seems faster, doesn't he? And TC's gone off. He's come back onto the track. Jack has cut the corner to pass him. I really hope he doesn't get in trouble for that, because it looked like TC, well, he just appeared out on the track, but he must have had a spin or something, hit a reset to track and recovered from there. But yeah, TC out of the podium places, and here comes Mr. John. He's just been overtaken by Indecisive, and he's not going to come back at him. Splinter has got past Daniil up the hill. Another driver who's really struggling in these conditions. I don't think Arna's going to lap Jess for a while, but certainly you can see where Jess is. She's just gone by at the top of the screen there. Arna is absolutely flying in comparison to her. He's already 56 seconds ahead, so he might lap her once or twice today. He's got a 6-second lead, so it shouldn't really matter when it comes to lapping cars. He shouldn't lose too much time, but you just got to be careful, haven't you? Now, Jack has been saving his ERS a little bit because I noticed he was a bit down. In fact, he's now got more than the driver ahead, who is Baza. Of course, he fell out of the championship fight last week after the US Grand Prix, and is looking just to try and go for third place now after what happened with Dexter on that one. That is still very much viable. But it looks to me now that TC is going to be putting the pressure on Jack. Certainly seems to be quicker still, even though he went off the track. So we'll see how all that works out for him later on. Red is certainly a lot lighter than it was at the start, so we should see lap times starting to fall as well. But you can't be sure really what the weather's going to do on this game sometimes. You know? Oh dear, Jack's dead. Well, there goes all that hope. Now, why has he done that? Has he had a collision, or has he done what Straw Blonde did? I feel he's done what Straw Blonde did. Look on the inside. Or look on the outside. He's gone a lot later on, but I think he's had the same accident. He's pretty much parked it in the same area. Right, well, there's me hyping him up, and I cut off him for a second, and he gets murdered. So, oh well. There goes Jack, out of the race. I think he's done what Straw Blonde did. ILR TC's yeeted him. Maybe Straw Blonde was yeeted, but I don't think he was. But anyway, yeah, Jack got out of the race then. It's a shame. Fastest man on track for a while there, but didn't quite go to plan. And straight after your retirement, Arno's gone taking the fast lap as well, so it's all gone. And yeah, Jack saying that rear end snapped, and that was that. Now I can see the sun starting to come out. You can see it shining here through turn 3. That means that the rain might be subsiding soon, as Con Offner still flying along. He's having a fantastic run. I think he's been 11 spots so far. He has indeed. Yellow's up the hill, possibly. It's Shabs having another off and falling down into at least 13th place. That helps Splinter along, who's now up to 12th and only 5 seconds away from the points. I must say, Jack, while you've been in the race, you've missed a lot of championship developments. It's been mental. You see, you missed it. Well, you probably actually saw Dexter in your wing mirrors having a humongous accident on lap 1, and you probably saw Straw Blonde. In fact, you probably got a good look at that. I think Straw Blonde's in the chat now. What actually happened? Did you lose the back end, Straw Blonde, or did you just die? Did you just get hit? Say you got hit makes it sound worse. As Spencer, side by side there with Crazy Fan Rob, nearly had an accident there. I think there was a little tap, but got through. Just 4.4 seconds off getting into the points. And is he closing on the leader yet? No, he's not. He hasn't quite got the pace today. I think Arnold is absolutely flying along. I think Jacko had said earlier that Frenagama was a threat for the win, and he's just hit the fastest lap, so he could be there. Ah, see, the driver's excuse there now. You've been hit, Straw Blonde. Oh, how sad. What can be done, you know? Oh dear. Well, at the minute your championship rival is scoring 0 points, so you're still only going to be 3 points behind. But spoiler alert, I have a feeling he might score today. He's flying along. But it's not going to be very high. Now that is a good point actually, Straw Blonde there, or Chris is in the chat, just in case you're wondering who I'm on about, is he's mentioning about... That's a good point, because he's mentioning about the dry setups. How many of these drivers are on dry setups? Because you could argue here that Arnold is on a full wet setup, but then again his qualifying that was pretty insane. So what type of setup is he on? Is he just on the perfect in-between strategy or what? What about Frenagamo? Is he on a full wet or is he on a dry? It's interesting who's on what strategy. It's trying to be something to monitor. We'll see how people's pace changes. I mean, is Con Offner on a full wet setup? Because he didn't see qualifying, of course. Maybe he didn't have a look at the weather forecast. Maybe he's just whacked on a full wet setup on the grid. And will face consequences for that later on. As Arnold sets the fast lap again. He's just put the power up a little bit. He's turned it back down again, but he set a fast lap by half a second there on his previous attempt. And Frenagamo had nothing to counteract that with. And, yeah. TC not really closing onto the back of Baza anymore. In fact, Camembert was staying relatively close. So it feels like TC, if he didn't have that spin, he wouldn't have had much pace anyway. And yes, I'm drinking water, in case you're wondering what I'm fizzing there. It's fizzy water. It's white grape and blackberry from Tesco. Cheap. It's like 50p. Really nice. Would help if I didn't hit the bottle of the microphone like, but it's nice regardless. That's not the point. Now, doing that, Camelbabu, is quite dangerous. If you get out there on the AstroTurf and the curves, that can cause accidents. So you've got to be careful you don't do that too often. Maybe that's what Jack did, and Straw Blonde to a certain extent, and Splinter make that championship lead 4 points now, going into Abu Dhabi. And how many seconds ahead to the next car? 8, then 9 and 11. So it's not massively likely he's going to get much higher than 8th place, I think, today. Unless stuff really goes wrong later on. We're not even a third of the way through the race yet, you know, so. Khalifa says even in a practice race with Arno last night, he says he'll be the one to watch for the race win. Well, certainly from what we've seen so far, he is the quickest guy out there. And Baza now is starting to close in Frenagamo. He's just at his fastest lap. He also doesn't know how to take the first or second corner. I mean, he's butchering this first second. He hasn't taken a single corner correctly yet. And he's lost all the time he gained. Yeah. Only a second slower in the first sector. You think there'll be more? Crazy Flying Rob has gone into the wall. Just before the dive there, he's decided to go a bit prematurely and stack it into the wall. And oh, look how slow he is now going through here. His teammate luckily not really close enough to have any problems there, but he was shockingly slow through there. He's really struggling to get his grip up to standards. Right then, so at the 1/3 point of the race, it's taken us quite a while to get here, but we've seen so much action in the early stages. It's been a fantastic race so far. If you missed it, championship contender Straw Blonde is out after an accident on lap 2, and Dexter is out of the championship altogether after his horrifying accident. Honestly, I'm surprised he walked away from it. That's lapping. I was about to say that's kind of close to 2 tar losses, but yeah, lapping. It was a horrendous accident. I'll ride on board with Baz and I'll point out where he stuck it in the wall. There's probably some sort of debris there, but on lap 1 he just stacks it into the wall on the exit of turn 3. If I ever get bored in the F1 games, I'll create accidents where I turn into that wall there on the right, because you get good airtime, honestly, it's really fun. But anyway, point is, Dexter decided to get in a league race, and it didn't end up too well. He crashed out, and luckily no one else was taken with him. But yeah, out of the championship altogether, 45 points behind, and now 46 behind. Splinter, as it stands, he's gone, he's done. See you later. Straw Blonde, yeah, 4 points behind as it stands. Shouldn't have crashed, mate. Big opportunity after Splinter lost his front line on lap 1 and got disqualified from qualifying. Really big opportunity missed, but oh wait, it's still Abu Dhabi. Well, God help us, we need some entertainment for that. Ah, Tom's in the chat. Hello, Tom. Nice to see you. Nice life. You enjoying FIFA still? Because I'm not. I stopped playing it again. It cost me 40 quid, you know. It's a complete waste of my money. And it angers me every day. Every day. Yellow flags. Is it Jess? Or is that just her normal pace? No, definitely she's lost 6 seconds somewhere, so, yeah. Sorry, that was mean. That was a mean dig. I'll take that back. I respect Jess. Right. Should be quicker when it comes to dry, hopefully. Hopefully we'll get a safety car as the rain stops, and I'll just close it all back up. We can just hit reset on this, because in the wet the gaps are going to get quite big, aren't they? So, yeah. Anyway, Baza has had a much better Sector 1. He's actually been able to take all 3 of the corners correctly this time round, which is an improvement. He got all 3 of them wrong last time round. Cuts turn 1, cuts turn 2, goes wide at turn 3, loses a second. And I ride on board with it. That should be the lap guide, honestly. But anyway, if he can actually keep up close and not miss all the corners, he may have a chance of getting by Fernando Gamero at some point. Rain is very light at the moment, but we're at that block now, sort of the halfway point in the race where it should be intermediate. The last block, out of the 3 you get in the qualifying screen, says it'll be dry at the end, so it will inevitably dry up. So don't leave, please. And feel free to chat. Feel free to have some nice conversations. I've been having good conversations tonight so far. But do feel free to have some more. Please. Because we've got to that steel bit again. Baz is falling off the pace, and well, Jack is out. Colin's not really close enough to making any more overtakes for the time being. Although he is absolutely flying along still. He's just at the fastest lap of the race and doesn't show any sign of having an accident or anything like that. He's not going to slack it into the wall within seconds of doing anything like he did last week. I mean, pretty much anything could be better than what happened to him last week. And it is better than last week, so yeah. We can just forget that happened. I won't mention it again. And he's still sitting fastest sector, so good stuff. The other McLaren, a Camo Babbitt in P5, is now on the back of TC. Well, I say now, but he's been on the back of TC for quite a while at this point. And he is getting bored, maybe. I wouldn't say he's getting impatient, because, well, why would you? But maybe he's getting bored. I understand it. I mean, I have to commentate ILR1 every week, and now, Mr. John and Shavs are having a bit of fun side by side through turn 1, and Shavs is being left behind there, I think, by John. John's got it wrong through turn 3, and that was almost a collision there through the apex, but luckily they've got alive and well at that corner. And go side by side down towards 4. And I think Shavs will get ahead there. Just going to quickly check who the yellow flag is. It's no one. Oh no, sorry, it's Crazy Fan Rob. It's Crazy Fan Rob. Maybe he got a bit late on the brakes because he was a lot quicker through that second sector split. Maybe he just went a bit late on the brakes and stormed off the track. But Mr. John and Shavs, their fight's over for the moment. Arnold is now 10 seconds clear at the front, having a great time, flexed his muscles a bit. Hopefully he can keep it on the road though. So at the minute, if the rain stops, I don't think it'd be good enough to go into the softs. I think it needs to rain for at least another 5 laps before you consider it. I think you can go by 12 on the softs. So the rain has to go on, it's like lap 22, lap 23, something like that. That's when the track needs to start becoming dry enough. The rain probably will stop in a couple of laps, but it doesn't just dry up instantly, you know, you need to give it some time. So, yeah. Anyway, up the hill. Arnold again. Any chance of a fastest lap? I keep catching these guys as they cross the line for fastest laps. It's become my specialty. We're near. Not even close. Yeah, Bees was about to take Colin up a fast lap. Beesma, you've lost your car for a week, and what's the first thing that's going to happen to it? It's going to win a race. And, you know, there's never a good feeling when that happens, actually. I know the feeling. ILR3 Spain, Season 4. And, me and Warren, we weren't particularly good at F1 2018, that's why we both went down to ILR5 the next season. Bit of a drop that was. And, yeah, we'd scored a grand total of about 10 points between us in the first 4 races, and then Cohen comes in and wins on his first try as a reserve in Spain. Like, it's quite funny when that happens, but it looks like Arnold's going to do the same thing for Ferrari and just rock up first try in the Ferrari and win. Remember the good old days? They were fun. But now we just have to watch other drivers take wins in our cars. Grr! Go away. Out of my car. Oh! That's interesting. Franagamo's pitting. See, I was sort of getting to the point where I was sort of expecting there to be no pit stops because we were going for so long, but well, that suggests to me that the rain is going to go on for a little bit longer because it would make no sense for these to be dry compound tyres. The only thing is, no one else is actually pitting. I didn't realize you had 6 second places. I thought you had a few seconds, but not 6. Oh man, that is going to hurt a bit when Arnold is currently 12 seconds clear at the minute. Austria was your big chance, wasn't it, Beesman? You'll win Abu Dhabi, maybe. You never know. There's always a chance. Abu Dhabi always brings up a nice result for somebody out there. Or maybe I don't need to be here. Sometimes you remind me a bit... Oh, Indecisive and Splinter. They're side by side, but not for much longer. Splinter is going to make that challenge lead up to 5 points. There he goes. I'm on a P9. Oh, that was close. When I was saying Bees was you're starting to remind me a little bit of what's his name? Jake. ILRT Shadow. Jake. Does anyone remember Jake? Tom, if you're still in the chat, do you remember Jake? The kid who could never win a race for his life. Won the ILR PC Championship. Incredible. But when I was watching him on ILR2, I never got to witness him win a race once. The only time he won a race, as far as I can tell, was when I wasn't there in a Russia race, season 5 or season 4. Season 4. Season 4. As Kong gets himself past Murdoch, and I think it was in a McLaren actually that he won it in. But the point is, he his first race he won was a very happy day for Jack and for Evil, who were commentating at the time. Jack being Soup, for those who don't know. And yeah, I was at a karting race at Eddie Irvine's. I finished 5th. Out of like 12, but like, was it worth it really to miss Jake winning a race? Point is, Beezer, you remind me a bit of him. Paul McGuinness is in the chat. Have you ever won a race? Didn't you win the very first ILR race? Was that you, Paul? And then you never won a race afterwards. But I've got insider information. He loves his setup for Brazil, does Paul? So I'm not trying to say don't tune into ILR1, because you've got to. We need the views. But Paul's ILR4, I think. Watch that if you fancy watching Paul winning a race, because you've got the episodes now. It's funny. Me or Paul always do really well at Brazil on these games. Me last season was a cheeky 2nd place. I'm expecting you to do one better this season, Paul. That was a nice spot on the ILR5. I was going to call it a bad word. Disaster class of a season. So, you've won 2 races. What was the other one you won? I genuinely don't remember. I'm really trying to wrap my brain. I don't remember. Were they both from season 1? Because then I'd have an excuse, because I was just a reserve that season. I didn't watch a single race. I tuned in for Germany once, and then they forgot I was a reserve, and so they just sort of left me alone. And so I had to re-sign up again for season 2. So if it happened in season 1, then I wouldn't remember it. Austria ILR2. Right, I didn't ever commentate on an ILR2 Austria with Paul McGuinness in it, so I wouldn't remember that. I think I joined ILR2 commentary, possibly the very next race, actually. Possibly to that. Was it season 3 or was it season 2? Because it was season 2, I was just ILR3 in that season. I didn't comment or anything. And yes, I'm aware it's not raining, by the way. Monkey Meg's in the wall. That is a 4-point gain, so 7 points clear at the top of the championship now. The Spencer, but he's more worried about his tyre choice. Right, so if I was Frenagamo right now, I'd want to kill myself, right? Because it's nearly time for dries. No one else is pitting around him. There's no point. So maybe it's a bit much. Maybe he doesn't want to kill himself, but he certainly doesn't feel good. He was on for a podium and now he's gone and bottled it. Or maybe he'll have great pace in the dry, but he's still going to make up a lot of time. But we're all going to beat you at Thruxton karting. You know, I'm happy about that though, right? Thruxton is going to be good, right? Because I don't care if I finish first or if I finish last, Paul. It's all going to be about some good pictures. We're all going to get lovely pictures together. We're going to look like the bestest friends in the whole world. That doesn't sound weird. And we're going to go to Spoons afterwards and get... Well, I can't actually. I'm going to go to Spoons and just sort of drink a bit of Coca-Cola. Mainly because my dad's coming to the car. He's going to finish last as well. He's my transport, you see, so I've got to rely on him for that. And so it's probably not a good idea to be drunk just in the vicinity of him. So, yeah. I'll be just sort of standing around while everyone else gets drunk. My ambition is to see Paul, 1, drunk, and 2, high on Skittles. That's all I'm interested in for our karting event. I don't know about anyone else going, but that's what I'm looking forward to. Anyway. As you can see, there's still plenty of spray, even though the rain has stopped. Beesman, are you... Yeah, I think Beesman, aren't you one of the furthest people away from Thruxton here coming? Because, like, I think, like, Northern Ireland's bad, but, I mean, you're like Netherlands, aren't you? I mean, God is where Khalifa is. I'm trying to remember where Khalifa is. I think he said he was from somewhere else. I don't remember. I think I will remember. Yeah, oh! Is that Jess? It's Jess. She's getting lapped a lot today. But, yeah. Pit stop. Is this for dries? It must be for dries. Yeah, Netherlands. That's a pretty long way, and it is dries for Indecisive. I think he messaged me earlier on in the week. Oh, it's Chris coming as well. Okay, that's plenty. That'll be fun as well. He'll get Panda Pop. Don't know what that is, but I will try it. As long as it's not alcoholic. Oh, Indecisive nearly stuck it in the wall. Oh, this will be a tricky pit lane to negotiate. Look at it, he's nearly hit the wall again. There's still so much spray. This is at low speed. I think Indecisive's got a bit early. So's Monkey Meg. Oh, he's going to get lapped as well, is he? Oh, look at that. Baza getting past him, and TC's going to be in there as well. Broken front wing for John, and look at it, he's going to be straight in the wall. He's Indecisive nearly. Oh, he went way too early on this. Yellows, I don't think they're for him. They're for someone else. Aren't they? Or maybe he's just that slow, I don't know. Frenagamo down to dries. I don't know if front wing his days is going to get worse because he's going to soon find out it's not time for these either. How's everyone else doing? Monkey Meg, panic. This is going to end up in an accident because I think that yellow flag is for just genuine pace of these mediums at the moment. They're absolutely hopeless. Oh, it's J2. Okay, that's fine. That's fine then. I love me some J2. Hell, love a drink. Well, I mean, the only good news is that Indecisive isn't spinning off, but it's quite a wonder that he isn't. Luckily, the leaders aren't looking at this and thinking, pit. Although, we'll just check up on them anyway. Arno stays out, Baza stays out. TC's gonna get by Baza, in fact. What a run! Up towards turn 1, he's ahead. And look at this, Corn is on the back of him as well. Could Corn do an 18th to second? Oh no, I've just jinxed it. Frick. I'm so sorry. Oh, I've just hyped him up so much, he's just gone straight into the back. Oh, he's going to have to pit, but it's too early to pit for dry. That's going to be a nightmare. Monkey American's got lost. He's had an accident. It's all starting to kick off here. Spencer now after 7th, but probably a legit 7th at the minute. It's going to be said, he's loving this at the moment. And this from 7th, seems on the grid as well. Hopefully I don't jinx him as well, but Con still seems to actually have the pace. He's just that quick with the front wing damage, but certainly he'll lose a bit of time when he changes his front wing. That's a pretty bad commentator's curse. That's one of my worst, honestly. Not as bad as that one time in one hub where I said, we're having such a clean start before a 6-car pile-up ensued 2 seconds later. Very funny. Very funny. That was a huge one as well. It's a car in the fence and all sorts. But anyway, not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about Con and Camo Babo, the 2 McLaren boys. One of them's damaged, the other one not. But Con, look at that, 2.5 seconds down in the middle sector. Not really having the best day of his life. Arnold still staying out. TC and Baza and Con, who's going past. Oh, that's the pit lane. Baza's in the pit lane. Okay, that's still too early, I think, but he's decided to get out of it and pit. Yellows, that'll probably be for an intermediate runner, I would imagine. It wouldn't surprise you, that's just a genuine pace of Indecisive at the moment. He can't stay on the track, he's off onto the F1 2010 line. He's struggling too much right now. But, oh! Who was that? Was that somebody off? It was indecisive off again up the hill. Look at him, he's in Narnia. And we've got 2 people going onto the softs. The more people who do this, the more crazy and the more mixed up this grid's gonna get. This is really quite fascinating because look at the spray still. And that's at low speed. I've got to remind you, this is at low speed. This is going to be a nightmare for these guys. Especially when they're new onto them. At least some of these guys might be used to them, but oh. If Jess couldn't get slower, well, she's just been lapped again. Just no pace, and no one else on these softs have any pace. Yellow flags up the hill. Possibly for Monkey Meg. It is for Monkey Meg, who's getting overtaken there. Jess not quite close to the pass at the moment, but Arnold's in the pits. Okay, well I still don't think it's time. TC stays out. Is this where Arnold's race falls apart? Is this where this second place Ferrari curse continues? Cole stays out. Camo Babo stays out. Will he beat Arnold? I think he must beat Arnold in the pits. It's on to more intermediates. Okay, Arnold wants more intermediates. He doesn't think he's going to get dry enough at all. That's interesting. We'll see how this works out. Because that means he might be able to catch and pass these guys. Do you know what? That's quite clever. Because with the way this track is drying, in other words it's not, he's how far off the race? What, 6-7 seconds? He can catch it up. He's on 25 lap newer tyres. And the spray is still pretty high. Has Arnold caught with a masterstroke here? And his friend Gavin are going to be thinking, I can't believe I've just pitted off again, when actually a pit to intermediates would have been just fine. There as Daniel goes off the track. We got yellow flags in the final sector. It's for indecisive because dries are evidently just not working right now. These guys are all over the show. But what an incredibly interesting strategy call! He's gone to the back of his own teammate. The 25 lap younger tyres is costing Arnold the race win, unless he can get quicker and get by. But he's clattered into his teammate as they head through the lap cars. Shabs and Narnia indecisive, getting a penalty. Monkey Meg losing the back end. This race has just come alive in the closing stages. Arnold's surely gonna get by his teammate, who's pitting. He's pitting. That must be for intermediates as well, right? He's seeing what his teammate's done. He's been hit by his teammate. Maybe he could be the one to inherit the victory here if he plays his cards right. But they look like the soft tyres to me. It is the soft tyres. We've got by half the grid on the dries, half the grid on the wets right now. Which one's the right one to be on? It's still the inters. The intermediates still look like the best tyre to be on. Splinter does not have to make another pit stop, by the way. Not that it would really matter if he did. I think he would be solid in 6th at the minute. But yeah, it looks like the intermediates are still by far the best tyre to be on right now. A very interesting scenario. But can Arnold keep the pace up with a damaged car? We've seen it, Colin can. But he's not able to catch and pass TC. He probably would have been ahead of a damaged car. But yeah, this is a fascinating situation to find ourselves in. What do you all think? What is the best strategy to be on? Because Arnold, Camo Babo's off. Look at him. He's in Narnia. He's absolutely got completely lost here. He's fallen down to 4th place. He's now got a 10-second penalty. All going wrong for him on the dive. He's dove way off centre. He's got a puncture. That's why. He's got a puncture. That's another thing to worry about. Now what do you do? Because punctures are evidently a problem. As Camo Babo crawls back to the pit lane. 26 laps is too many for him. 27, sorry. So how much is 28? Can these guys... How far can they go? What do they change on to when it's time? Man, this strategy gets more and more complicated by the minute. There are still just 9 so very long laps to go. Yellow flags in the middle sector, and he's still dry runners struggling around. It is indecisive in the wall. Because it'd be worth it if the whole field was on these tyres. But they aren't. It's just... I just don't know what's the best strategy to be on. We've got how many? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people still on the intermediate tyres. We've got another yellow. That's for indecisive. We've also got Daniil, and we've also got Jess off the track. These are all dry runners who are struggling at the minute. intermediate runners are seeming pretty good, but Camabau has gone onto the dries. I guess he maybe feels he had no other choice. How are the tyres for the top two? Do they feel that they need a pit yet? TC stays out. But they, I guess, don't know what happened to Camababo. As a Splinter is now up into 4th position. If we get any more punctures of these top guys, then Splinter could well still be on for a podium. He would need something to happen to Arnold as well, however. But it's a long shot. It's an incredibly long shot. But the title could still be on here for Splinter today. With the way this is all turning on its head. If the top 3 all go into dries, if they go into dries, if it's at the wrong time, then they're in trouble. Because at the minute, it looks like these guys are going to be pitting for intermediates, and these guys aren't going to have to worry about the dries at all. Which means Arnold would win, but if they all have to go into dries, then there's a problem. Especially if punctures get involved. Say TC gets a puncture, he has to now crawl back to the pits, then stick a tyre that he may or may not be quick on, and lose a chance of a podium. I'm not sure if it's legal to finish a race without a pit stop, by the way, as Murdoch retires. Boy, with a safety car. Why would that scrap this all up? But I think it's a bit late, but that's a horrendous accident. Look at him, he's done a pole arrested by the looks of it, but he looks like on a much bigger scale. This, do you know what? I was just about to say it, Chris. This could be another Hamilton 2008 moment, couldn't it? Or it could be a Hamilton 2007 moment. There's multiple Hamilton moments that are a possibility here. As the race leader pits. No see, but he's pitted. Is now the right time to go on to dries? Is there a right time to go on to dries? Or will it be more intermediates? Intermediates! It is intermediates. He feels that's all he can do. Splinter, he's keeping up with the pace at the minute, so he maybe doesn't feel he has to pit, but okay, that is TC saying, alright, I'll stay out, I'll do intermediates. Fine, whatever. But Arno, now on the back of Con. Con looks like he's moments away from a blow-up, doesn't it? Judging what happened to his teammate, it's quite remarkable he's got this far, to be honest, but yeah. Possible tyre failure imminent. But look at it, the track is just still soaking wet. I hope the ILR1 boys are watching this, because later on, the information learned from this race could be very valuable. In fact, I hope from all the other tiers are keeping their eyes on this, because it hasn't been raining for a good 10 laps, and it's still not dry. Arnold is all over the map, but he doesn't have to worry too much. These are both front wing damage drivers. Arnold is on 25 lap younger tyres. Just sit back and let it happen. You'll pass him eventually. I'm sure Con has to pit, but he will stay out. But he won't have any grip to fight, so Arnold does take back the lead. The pit stop looked like a mistake at first to go on intermediates, but it's worked out a treat for him. Con, I guess, is just going to wait it out. I'm not sure if it's a requirement to pit in a wet race, but if he does pit, it'll have to be for dries, because honestly, no, you could make a case for the dries, couldn't you? It's looking a bit drier out there. It looks more like a dry track. Issue is, Con wouldn't really gain enough time to catch back up to Arnold, but he would certainly probably have enough time to catch up to TC. As DRS does get enabled, it's dry time. Oh, we'll see. Oh no! Off goes puncture! Con waited a lap too long, and it's time for dries. Splinter's straight into the pits. He wants his dries. He has made the 30 seconds he needs. He's going to be on for a podium right now. It's such a long shot, but if anything happens to the top two, who will be now TC and Arno, if anything happens to them two, Splinter would be the inheritor. He'd be the one who sees to win. He's going to be on much, much faster tyres. Is it conceivable? Is it conceivable? I don't think it is quite conceivable, because Arnold will probably... Well, what will he do? Will he pitch or will he stay out? He stays out. Does TC risk it? Con's done. He's really struggling right now. He's got a minute to Splinter. He may still come out in 4th place, but there is a chance he'll lose it. There is a chance, because when you've got a punctualizer and a front wing to change, he may not make up too much time, but TC fastest lap and Arnold staying out. Splinter is just too far behind, I guess, to take much advantage, but what if it just becomes undrivable? What if this is like a May in France ILR3, where the tyres are a good 10 seconds, 15, 20 slower? It builds up every lap. The tyres overheat, they become less useful, they become a liability. Will Corn beat out Splinter? Because this will decide the podium. It will certainly decide who finishes third, potentially. Of course, being on the fresher tyres would help, but it'll take me a bit for him to come in. Corn, front wing is being put on. See, there's a chance he could have salvaged second, but there's a chance he's going to lose third. I think he will. Splinter from 17th on the grid. Just imagine if he hadn't had that accident on lap 1. He could have been in the fight for the win. He's now 59 seconds off the race lead. In fact, he's a minute off the race lead. And Yellows is up with one of the top two. Arnold pits. Will TC stay out? That is a big question to answer now. Does TC see his rival in the pits and say, I will fight, and when on enters, he says no? But yes, Splinter, he's looking good for P3. Let me just check for penalties. Arnold has nothing. TC has nothing. Splinter has hold on, let me just confirm. Nothing. So the top two should stay the same, and it'll be a nice clean run. You'd hope to the finish, but this would mean we'll keep an eye on how fast laps pan out as we go along, because this should be a fast lap attempt from Splinter, although it has struggled a bit on the lap to get by Frenagamo, who, like I say, is probably regretting all of his life choices right now. That lap will probably get beaten, but at the minute it will be an 18-point advantage going into Abu Dhabi in Splinter's favour. It's looking pretty set in stone, isn't it? With every passing lap, that Splinter is going to be your ILR8 champion. And if anything happens with the top two ahead, it will be confirmed. Because if he wins the race, he will be champion. I don't think that's going to happen. It's only 3 laps, not long enough to change it dramatically. Of course, Con is probably going to be quicker, isn't he, than Splinter? So if you can get this, then the gap at the front will be up to 50, will be down, sorry, to 15 points. And that I can see happening, honestly, because Con is pretty quick. He's shown it all race, and he is flying at the back of Splinter. So Chris is saying it's game over, but you know, suddenly Con gets past 12 points only from this race, 15-point advantage, and Abu Dhabi, as Jacko says, Kimi 2007, Lewis 2008, Vettel 2012. It can't happen. From the jaws of defeat, you can turn up and win it. But certainly looks to me like Con is going to take P4, take P3. If only he made them. If only he pitted a lap before, he would have won the race. He would have won the race. That's the thing. He would have. He was half a lap on that intermediate tyre away from being able to pit and win the race. How unlucky is he? But he certainly still has had a stunning drive. He's come from 18th on the grid, and Splinter's come from 17th. They've both had fantastic races. I guess the driver of the day fight will be between these two. Whichever one finishes ahead, I guess, wins it by default. But we've got 2 laps to decide who that's going to be. TC fastest lap. Could well be a situation where last man across the line gets that fastest lap point. Whether that guy is in the top 10 or not, we'll wait and see. Because if it isn't in the top 10, there'll be no fastest point going to anyone. But what a dramatic race. And it could still happen. It could still get more dramatic. We could still see, as Con is fast man on the track, we could still see Splinter get wiped out here. It is a possibility. You've always got to believe the possibility. Because I'm certainly thinking, from my point of view, anything that can happen has happened today. So we've seen 2 of the challenging contenders stack it into the wall. We've seen the most ridiculously crazy wet to dry situation I've ever seen on this game. Wouldn't it be suited to have a final lap that'll live in the minds of fans of ILR all round, to give ILR8 its most dramatic finish it could possibly have. What will happen on the final lap of this season's penultimate race? Jacko, very happy to see Mr. John on the points. He's about to fall to 9th place possibly, but we'll see how that all pans out. Let's first of all see Con Offner on the back. Think about it, he had no puncture, but he would won the race potentially, but he can still salvage third. Fastest lap. Doesn't go for it at the moment on Splinter, but he's certainly on it. Fremingam was just in there as well, being the ghost car. That's Con. This could be his penultimate opportunity. Here he goes. DRS. Using all the ERS he can on the inside of Splinter, and he's going to be up into 3rd place, but Splinter comes back on the inside. These curves are quite dangerous. There's a bit of contact between the two of them, and they go side by side, wheel binding all the way up the hill towards turn 6, and Kong gets ahead into P3. But boy, did he have to work for it. It looks to me like Splinter's wanting every single point he can possibly get out of this, but Arnold to the line, took pole, took the win. Pretty much flawless. What a drive, giving Ferrari their first victory of the season, as far as I'm aware. I may have forgotten 1 or 2, but he's won anyway, his first victory. TC 2nd, good for him. But who's going to be 3rd? It looks like Splinter's going to have more ERS up the hill. He's going to use as much as he can. He'll have DRS as well. But it looks like Con is going to beat Splinter to the line. Just be sure there's no penalties, of course, just to be safe. No penalties, so Con 4th. Con 3rd, Splinter 4th, and so the chat lead goes up to 15 points. Will we see Strawblonde fight back in the season finale? That's the big question. Baza comes home 5th, Camo Babu 6th, Shab 7th, Frenagamo 8th, Mr. John will come home 9th, and Crazy Fan Rob will be 10th. The final point scorer, and Con gets the fastest lap as well. So the 2 rookie boys from last week, the 2 reserves from last week, they've both had much better races the second time round. They could well have finished 1-2 if it wasn't for just that puncture. The lap of Con's pit stop, how unlucky was he? But you know what? He still stands on the podium at the end of the day. He will still, I imagine, be happy enough of that. And TC as well for Toro Rosso, getting them a few more points in the championship. But it is Ferrari on top in Brazil. It is Arnaud taking the victory. That's probably the first time this season we've had a podium full of people who didn't start the season. But could be, wouldn't be too surprising. Also, Viva Belgium. I don't really know that works, but they've finished 1-2. The Belgian boys, good job for them. But let's just quickly confirm the order. Arnaud from TC, Con Hoffner, Spencer, Baza, Kamabu, Shao, Fernagamu, Mr. John and Chris have another point scored outside the top 10. Monkey Meg, Daniil, Indecisive Jez, Murdoch, Jack, Strawblonde, Tudai and Dexter. McMahon Award will go to Camu Babo. Well, what a stunner. What a fantastic race from start to finish. That has probably been the best ILR8 race of the season. The wet weather there, it just never looked like it was going to dry up, and it really shook that field up at the end. But the championship lead for Splinter going into Abu Dhabi will be 15 points over his teammate Strawblonde. It is all over for Dexter. All went on lap 1. Only went 3 quarters before he stacked it into the wall. And so it will be the battle of the Alfa Romeos next week in ILR8. Same time, same place for one more time. So please all be there. Please. It's going to be a great race. We're going to make Abu Dhabi good, I promise you. And, well, join me again soon. I'll be with Louis at the very least for ILR1. Don't know about Ollie, but I'll ask him anyway. And, yeah, ILR1, Brazil. Let's hope for more of the same, shall we? Safe travels, everybody, and see you soon.